Waking up at 4 AM every day to walk downstairs to practice posing honestly made me want to quit. But one thing that I've learned is that a goal without sacrifice and struggle isn't truly a goal. Your goal should be so big and scary that you have to suffer because you need to grow in order to achieve it. If you could reach your goals as the person you are now, you would have already achieved them. This prep has pushed me to the breaking point. It's been the toughest thing I've ever had to put my body through, both mentally and physically. But I stand by the fact that a competition prep is one of the hardest things that you could physically and mentally put yourself through. The condition that you need in order to get onto stage is next level, and to maintain that for a number of weeks while actually changing up your food when it comes to peak week and all these other little things that you need to adapt to is literally the hardest thing you have to do. And the worst thing is you are feeling so miserable and drained the whole time. And the thing is, you know how to fix it. You know if you have some food, you're gonna feel 100% again. You're gonna feel amazing again. But in order to feel better again, you need to basically give up on your goal of stepping on stage and looking the best that you have ever looked. It is show day. The day has finally come for my final show of this season. It has been a very long time dieting. I've been dieting this whole year and it has felt like an eternity. So it's gonna be good for it to finally be done and I can go back to being normal. But first I want to perform the best that I ever have on stage. And I think this time I really can. I reckon I've done a lot better this show compared to the last show. So I'm very excited. The time is now 10 to 8. So basically, I don't have to be there till like at least 1 at the latest for my tan. Now I go on stage at these times here. Basically, I've got 4 main divisions, but if I win my fitness open or any 2 of my physiques, I am then entered into the overalls, which then if I win the overalls, I'm pretty sure they're giving out pro cards, but if I win the overall, then I can get my pro card and get into the pro shows and compete at a professional level, which is the goal at the end of the day. So I've already been up and done a few things. I already had my first meal, just some chicken, rice, nut butter, and some salt, which I got another one of that later. My meals are basically very, very simple today. Just rice cakes, honey, some oranges, some salt. That's basically all I'm eating today, and another meal. But I've also went downstairs and got my donut. This is my first look at it. So basically my plan until like 12 o'clock, which is when I'm going to be leaving, which in a couple hours time, I'm going to finish sorting out all my stuff, just so I can try and reduce the stress. I'm also going to go ahead and do some stretching / mobility work because I know that from previous experience. I pose my best when I am not tight and not stiff, I'm nice and loose. So I know that if I do some stretching, it's going to go a very, very long way with me posing my best. But yeah, there's the morning update. It's going to be a pretty big day because I got a lot of breaks in between divisions and being up on stage. So it's going to be interesting to see how my body fares and I end up placing because I'm pretty excited. This has been possibly the lowest that I've ever been mentally. And I think some of that's to do with wanting to perform the best that I ever have and wanting to look amazing and wanting to just show everyone around me that all the work that I've been putting in really has paid off. And it was a lot of stress that I was putting myself under leading into these shows, these last 2 shows, because I wanted to perform, I wanted to do the best, I wanted to push myself to the limit. I knew I wasn't going to be the biggest person out there, and I was well aware of that. I wasn't going to be the biggest, the guy with the most muscle, but I knew that if I could bring the best conditioning, then I knew that I'd place very, very well. Which luckily that ended up happening. Although I wasn't the biggest, I was the most conditioned guy up there majority of the time. And that was my main goal. But it also meant that it took a massive toll on me mentally to be able to get to that point. And it's very hard to know that you're starving yourself to the point where you physically can't move, where there was times where I'd be walking up the stairs and I'd have to physically stop and hold onto the rail because I was about to pass out. I'd get up off the couch, everything would go black. I'd have to, whenever I'd stand up, I'd have to stand up very slowly, or once I've stood up, I'd have to stand there for like 30 seconds to get my vision back. All these little things you underestimate, and it's really, really hard to like stand up and nearly pass out multiple times a day. It's hard to walk to work, get to work, and feel like you're gonna collapse. It's hard to demonstrate an exercise and physically feel like you can't move your arms or your legs. To be able to get to that point, it's one of the hardest things I've had to like train my mind to work through. And not only that, you physically can't move, but then you know the best way to fix it is to eat some food, but you can't do that either. And then you want to perform good. So the amount of mental burden that you're putting yourself under to help deal with it, to help keep pushing forward, to get lightheaded, to nearly black out, to nearly pass out, to keep going and keep putting your body through that shit. For me personally, like that was a big thing for me. Anxiety was a big thing. My platelets have never been so low, my blood clotting. I literally plucked out some hairs in my eyebrows this morning and it bled. It's not healthy, but that's just some of the things that you need to work through, and it's been one of the hardest things. Even the last 2 days post-show, my head hasn't been right. You achieve the goal, and it's like, now what goal do I have? What's stopping me from eating all this food? What's stopping me from not training it? What's stopping me from doing all these things that I wanted to do, eat all this food? And I'm a very goal-driven person. Although I've got goals there, it's hard for me to do it when, hormones still aren't right for me. My platelets are still probably the lowest they've ever been. All these little things just stop you from chasing the goals that you want. And for me, it's been hard to get my mind right that I've finished competing. I competed, and now I've got these other goals I want to smash and get, but I physically am still not right. I mentally still am not right, and it's hard for me to allow myself time to readjust, to get my body, get my mind right, to then attack those things. I finished competing and I had this expectation that I'd finish. The next day I'd be like, good, I'm feeling good, I've got food, I'm ready to go, but it's not the case. You hit the goal after months and months and months of dieting and pushing yourself to the limit that your body's like, I can relax and sort of catch up. But when you're used to just going towards the goal the whole time, it's hard to allow yourself that time to just relax, to repair, to allow yourself that time to readjust mentally and physically and get yourself right again. And that's something that I've been really struggling with the last couple of days.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
Your champion is 27, walking around.
Yeah!
The pain makes it real. I don't wanna feel. I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and meal. I'm just lost, I feel. I'm just lost, I feel. I need time to heal. I can't steer the wheel, cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels. I slip all the steel. Will I ever heal?
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hope. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hope. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
Men's fitness champion, Mr. Brisbane. In a split decision to number 53, Danielson.
How'd my life go in prep? What life? Prep is your life. When you are competing, you are competing. That is your life. You are literally pushing your body to the limits. And that's gonna have a big mental toll, which for me, it did. My emotions were very hard to control. I was very, very moody. I could no longer think clearly. Holding conversations was extremely difficult. For me, I was lucky that I've just moved to Brisbane, so all my main family friends are back home in Victoria, so I didn't have to worry about snapping at them. But my work did suffer. I stopped posting as much. I stopped putting as much effort in at the gym. All these other things took a massive hit while being on prep. And for all these weeks leading into show, it was basically just me going to the gym, working out, training my clients, focusing on my nutrition, and then just resting. That was literally it. I could not work. I couldn't think clearly enough to be creative, to come up with content ideas, to come up with new ways to bring some clients in. I physically and mentally couldn't do it. And it's extremely difficult to want to do something but not have the energy to do it, and not being able to think clearly enough to do it, not be able to have conversations with people because you can't think. It's just this crazy experience. So life on prep is prep. Prep is your life, and it's not healthy. But if you want the goal bad enough, then that's a sacrifice you want to make and you need to make in order to do the best that you possibly can.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em.
In the second, 27, Lucky Moran.
We're lucky!
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic. Yeah, if I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them. Yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis.
27, Lucky Moran. Thank you, Open Class 2 champion number 40, Mike. Keep it still. And we got it. Would you please thank our men's open class?
don't get me wrong, prep is one of the hardest things that I've ever done. But for me, it's about unlocking that next step, finding how far you can truly push yourself. And it's about setting that standard on prep that whatever you do after it, you now have this expectation to work this hard, which is a blessing. And this was honestly the best that I've ever done. Although I didn't get all first or all the best placings that I wanted, it was the best that I've ever done. It was the toughest competition that I've ever been up against. It's honestly, I'm very happy with the result. I looked amazing on stage. In my opinion, it's the best that I've ever looked. I placed very well in respective to the people that were around me in relation to what the judges were looking for. I placed very, very well, and I'm extremely happy with how I went. Even though like I didn't win the overalls, I didn't always place the best. I was always up there with the best in each and every category in the division that I was in, which for me made me extremely happy, and it was the best conditioning that I ever have been. Posing was pretty good as well. All these things I managed to tick off, and I'm extremely happy with it. And now that that's over, it's basically meant that I can now push myself to do even better next time, because I will compete again. I know that I will, and I want to win, and I love it. Although it's the toughest thing that I've ever done, I love it, because now I can work towards my other goals.
Let's have a look.
How do I open it?
With your hands, honestly.
They don't work anymore. Yeah. They fucking nuts. Oh my god.
Come on.
Oh my fucking god.
And he never competed again.
It tastes so fucking good.
So
Well,
good.
are they those no-dough ones? Are you gluten-free or you just like it?
Gluten and dairy.
Yeah, I've seen them and apparently they're really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They were in Westfield yesterday. I'm like, oh,
Oh.
try those.
They're good. God damn.
Is there any difference with the flavour?
That one's like crunchy. First two are both chocolate donuts. So one's dark, one's yellow.
Oh yeah. That seems like a normal donut on the inside. Caramel?
That one's a fucking king.
Delicious.
Don't know what it is though.
Yum. Whatever it is.
Okay, I'll eat the rest later. Let's go get a photo.
Oh, he's already put it on. I know.
Three gonna track the heaps.
What's up, everybody? It is now the next day, and it's fair to say I am so sore. Oh my god, my whole body is killing me right now. I got home last night. Mum and her partner were down, went out for dinner and got some grilled. Fantastic burger. Finished off some donuts, but then I honestly almost couldn't move. My back so sore, hips just so tight. And then because of the way you pose, and you're up here on the stage and the judge is down here, so you sort of have to arch your back sore, hips are sore from holding the poses, calves are pretty cooked, quad, everything just from holding it is very sore. So my whole body was sore, so by the time I got home, it was literally lay down straight away because I was just in pain. But then for me, I couldn't actually sleep for so long. It was very strange, and unlike me, it took me an hour and a half to get to sleep, which freaking sucked. So I was just laying there for so long, but I got there in the end, and lucky enough, I got the morning off. So I'm going to be heading over and getting some breakfast with mum, and that should be good. But all around, I'm pretty happy with how the day went. When they said the overall winner from a men's fitness by split decision, I'm yep, that's definitely me coming second, because that's just the way it always happens to me. If it's a split decision, I'll be second, I can guarantee it. Which I did, but nonetheless, I'm happy with it, with how it went, and placed pretty well. And now I can go away and have a bit of time to build up. So I'm gonna have a year and a half up now and go season B 2023 and give myself a fair bit of time to sort of readjust, build up the muscle groups that I need to, so I can bring in the same conditioning, because I'm pretty sure, judging by everyone else, I was possibly the most conditioned guy there at each of my categories. So that was a very good sign for me, and I was happy with that because that's what I wanted. I knew I wasn't going to be the biggest, but if I could be the most conditioned person up there, then I knew that that'd be the thing that can get me across the line in the majority of the categories. So I'm glad that worked out for me, but now I'm going to basically close off the video. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Tune in for more. I'm going to bring you more and more content in the coming weeks. Seeing as I'm not competing now, I've got some fantastic ideas. So make sure you hit that bell, you subscribe, you like the video, so the algorithm pushes me out to everyone else. So you can all have fun watching me make a mockery of myself. But yeah, let's see you in the next one.
That scares the shit out of me. Your face is a red.
So haven't you got no platelets?
I have all the platelets.
I just went black. I couldn't see a fucking thing.